Hello everyone, this is me Sharon and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will show you how to crochet this purse using the chevron stitch. And for this project I have used two colors, baby pink and gray color. This is called an Indafill 4-ply yarn, and you may use any yarn of your choice. And the recommended hook size for this kind of yarn is 3.25mm crochet hook. So that's what I'll be using, and of course you will be needing some scissors, sewing thread, buttons, and yarn needle. So without further ado, let's start. Now, before we start the project, let me just tell you that when you are working a chevron stitch, you need to know one particular stitch. If you're a beginner, like for example, if you're gonna start working with single crochets, it's gonna be single crochets, or if you would like, you can do double crochet. But for this particular project, I'll be showing you how to do it using the the smallest stitch, which is the single crochet. And then also you will need to decrease, increase, and skip stitches every row. So you have to be aware of that to be able to create this beautiful design. The foundation stitch should be in multiples of 13. And after you keep chaining 13 in multiples, then if you have decided the length, you can add 2 chains after that, and that will be the foundation chain. And then after that we will start working the first row of single crochets. So I'll show you in the next video. Alright, so this is what it looks like after finishing the first row. As you can see, it has been shortened. I only did multiples of 13 twice and then added 2 chains after that. So this is actually different from what I have started with. And now for the second row, we're going to chain 1. So we always have turning chain, and then after turning, we're going to work an increase into the first stitch, which is the first this is actually the first stitch where we have our chain 1. So we are going to work an increase or 2 single crochets in there. So every time we turn, we always work 2 single crochets in there, and then into each of the next 5 stitches we're gonna work 1 single crochet. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there you go, an increase, 2 single crochets into the very first stitch, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. And as you can see, I am only doing in back loops only. So to create the ridge, which I forgot to say in the first place, so yeah, I forgot to mention earlier, but to create a ridge, you are going to work in back loops only. But if you don't feel like doing it, you can work on both loops if you want. So now after that, we're gonna skip 2 stitches, and then after that we're gonna work 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we should be working our 5th stitch as always into the first of the 3 single crochet group that we did in the previous row. So that way we will end up working an increase into the middle of that 3 single crochets. So it should be always in the middle, where we will do another increase, which is 3 single crochets. So we already have 1, this is our second, and our third. So as you can see, we're like repeating the first row, and then after that increase, we're gonna work 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there should always be 5 stitches in between the increase, and then as you can see, it's going down, so that means we're going to decrease a stitch when we get to this part. So we're gonna skip 2 stitches again, and we should work 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. So we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the last stitch is sometimes hard to find, but it should be in there, and we should have an increase into our very last stitch. So no matter how many times you have chained in multiples of 13, that's going to be the repeating pattern. So we will start with the increase of 2, 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches, and then after that we're going to decrease or skip 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches, and then that's where we're gonna work an increase where we will do 3 single crochets, and it always have to be into the middle of the previous 3 single crochet group. So if you added the increase into the third one or the first one, chances are your project will be lopsided or crooked, and it will not be a good design. So you better need to check your foundation stitch in order to create this project. So no matter how long the foundation chain is gonna be, the pattern should be in this way. Now once you get to the third row, it will be just very easy. So you're simply going to just chain 1 and repeat what you did on row 2, which is we're gonna do an increase into the very first stitch, and if you like you can do back loops only, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 5, skip a stitch, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 5, and the increase will be into the second of the 3 single crochet group of the previous round. So that's going to be the repeating pattern. So just keep repeating until you get to the length that you want. Now in the next video you can check the size of what I have done, but first let me show you how you can change the color. So let's say for example you're going to change the color. So before you finish the last stitch, which is going to be the second single crochet, so we always have the increase into the last stitch, the first stitch, and of course when you get to the peak of this stitch here. So every time we get to this part, we also add an increase of 3 single crochets. So before we finish this last single crochet, so we're going to insert the new color. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get this color here, and then you can tie, after fastening this off, you can tie this one twice. So tie both tails, and then after that chain 1, and then do the same as what we did in the previous second row into the back loop only. If you would like, you're only going to work 2 single crochets. So we always work an increase into the first and into the last, and when we get to the peak of this chevron stitch. So after this, you're going to just repeat the second row until you get to the length that you would like. So that is how you can change the color if you want. And then if you don't want to add some colors, then you don't have to. So this is what it's going to look like once you added another color, and I usually change the color after every fourth row. So I have 3 rows of gray, 3 rows of pink, and then after that I stopped changing colors, and it would really stand out if you're just going to work with a solid color, or maybe if you have a gradient yarn. I think this would look good. But So this is what it looks like after sewing the sides of this purse. You can work a single crochets on both sides if you don't like working a whip stitch. And as you can see, we have sewed it along this whole side, and this is what it looks like if you open it. So it's kind of overlapping. So this is to secure the things that you're gonna put inside, and this is what it looks like. Now I think for this one I'll be using it to put my cosmetics like lipsticks, face powder, or you can even put the tissue inside. All you have to do is work a few more chains for the foundation chain if you want to make it longer. And for me, the size is just enough. And if you would like to turn this into a sling bag, all you have to do is chain. So you can crochet from this side, work as many chains as you want to get the length that you would like for the strap. And then once you get the number of chains that you would like, then you can start connecting it to the other side. So that's how easy it is. Or you can buy some chain straps, which are available online here in the Philippines. I think I have seen a few, and it can be bought at Shopee or Lazada. So you can just attach that anytime if you want to. Also, I have made a few straps in my previous tutorials, so if you would like, you can check on them. It's on the playlist. If you like it, please do not forget to hit like, comment if you have any request for my next video, and also do not forget to subscribe for more free patterns. Thank you so much and have a great day.